And see, the biggest thing about this though, the biggest thing about this is not having the rental, like not being licensed.
Uh-huh.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Illegally
Right. Yeah.
evicting
Yeah.
people, illegally taking people to court, collecting rent, and then like they was coming at us as these other names. And then when that didn't work, they started, you know what I'm saying, coming at us with other names. You know what I'm saying? So they got
Right.
like 3, 4. I sent you the documents
Right.
and stuff, right? And we done looked this stuff up. We done been, we done been in court with these people since 2023. You know how many
Okay.
times these people done dismissed the case? They self, man, at least about 20 times. When I moved here, right, I had a lease that said that my landlord was Glenarden Hills. And then at a time when these people kind of like when COVID hit. So that's what happened. Basically, when COVID hit, it threw a lot of things off. So even the management here was scrambling around. So everything was kind of all paperwork, laws, all types of craziness. So after COVID hit, a lot of people was back up on their rent, of course. You know what I'm saying? Now, during that time, these people was applying for, the federal COVID relief funds on behalf of the tenants. Now, once COVID was over and people were still behind because they didn't receive all the funds for the rental system, they began to take people to court. So once we went to court, it was then basically said like, hey, these people don't even have a rental license and they bringing us to court. So at that point, you know what I'm saying, the skirt is up. You know what I'm saying? The rental assistance funds that they was applying for was federal funds, right? How the fuck you apply? Now, hold on. Let me back up 1 second. Now, if you read the law, what it says about an unlicensed landlord in Maryland, it clearly states that if an unlicensed landlord in the state of Maryland is not to attempt to even collect rent or participate in any rent collecting activities, no notes on doors, no phone calls, no none of that shit. You hear me?
Right.
No evictions, no bringing the courts, no none of that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Why you unlicensed? Because you can't. How you gonna do business with the state and you unlicensed with the state? Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
how the fuck do you solicit federal government funds and you unlicensed? There got to be some type of fraud. You went for government funds. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on at this point. Now,
what was the
so
court's response when you brought up the fact that they don't have a license?
So once one of the tenants spoke on it, the court said, hey, you know, show us your license. And they couldn't produce it. They had a temporary license of some sort. So they was already unorganized to kind of like shorten this up. They was kind of like unorganized from the jump. They brought us in there and they didn't even know what they was doing. All they was doing was just trying to force us to pay some money. So now they don't even understand themselves that they ain't even got a license. They playing around. So they go in there and the judge say, hey, well, we're going to dismiss this case. Y'all come back with a license. They couldn't come back. They dismissed all our cases. So time go on. They tried it again.
And so when you say that time goes on, how much time are we talking about? The next year, a couple of months?
No, like the next month, they file on you every month that you don't you know what I'm saying? For every month. So if you're late, they're gonna file.
This is due to the corona and everybody being out of work of why they're being taken to court for failure to pay, right?
Of course.
Okay. So every month you keep coming back with where's their license, and then the judge keeps dismissing the case.
Yeah. So
okay.
So right. So the whole thing. So the whole time we like. All right. So what y'all gonna do about this? Because y'all don't have the court. I'm be talking to the court like, what y'all gonna do about this? Because these people don't have no license. You know what I'm saying? They keep bringing us to court. And this is what people are verbally saying in court. Myself, number one. I'm like, I don't even know these people because now they came back as Glenarden Hills Apartments, something else. You know what I'm saying? Another name.
LLC every time they come to court.
Yeah, they switching up their name, so they trying to circumvent the system.
I was kind of confused. So, who are Glenarden Phase 1 LLC and Penrose Management?
So we're gonna get to that. So Penrose Management is the management company. You get what I'm saying? And all of the other entities, they managing all the other entities of Glenarden Hill, whatever these variations are.
That's the boss. That's the boss. All right, all right.
So right. So then they come at us as the other entities and get shot down. So then when we knew it was kind of crazy was when we saw the first default judgment on one of our hearings. Now we probably was at our fifth court appearance, and they still was dismissing it. And then one of the tenants didn't show up, and they automatically gave them a default judgment for the unit back. You know what I'm saying? But the person ended up appealing it. The one of the tenants actually got a judgment and didn't challenge it. So I don't even know what happened. They ended up getting some. So what they did with them was they couldn't get them out on a failure to pay like the rest of us. So they did a breach of lease, like as they eventually did to me. Eventually. So they did like a breach of lease with these people for whatever reason. Ended up putting the people out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now there was one incident where a dude had an accident and he ran into the back of one of the units. Smashed the whole unit in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Damn. The people who was in the house, kids and everything, but they was cool. Now they went to like a hotel or something, probably was gone for a while, and end up I guess these people trying to still charge them rent for that time, like crazy.
Wait, while the apartment's still being repaired?
Yeah, that shit wasn't even getting repaired, man. That shit sat like that for months.
Really?
Before they repaired that shit. That shit was crazy. You know what
I'm
saying?
So that unit was wide open and anything could have festered up in there. Rats, roaches, coyotes, squirrels, bears, and they could have had a field day and
damn Ford Escort all up in the living room.
Gee.
Yeah, I mean, it was that. Huh?
For months? It was just smashed in for months. So the people who lived there, they just had to pay for a hotel for months. But did they?
Right, and then these people still try to charge them that rent for their time.
Okay,
somehow.
That's crazy.
Do you know if the tenants took the property management or the owners to court for reimbursement?
Yeah, it's amazing how they can stay legally and like still be operated, because it says here that
licensed.
They wasn't registered until February 20th, 2024.
This is 24 in August. They ended up obtaining a license, right? This is funny as hell. For Glenarden Phase 1.
Got it.
Now, Glenarden Phase 1 was created in 19, right?
Okay.
But they did not get a license until 2024 for the Phase 1.
Right.
My landlord is Glenarden Hills. It's not Phase 1.
That's when you entered into a contract with.
And hold on. And not only that, see, if people don't understand that in these multi-units, each unit has to have its own license. It has to be registered as it has its own individual license. You know what I'm saying? You can't use one license for all of these. You can't it ain't that simple. And they when we was in court, they try to amend their name right while we there in the courtroom. Like, who does that? If y'all was these people, why y'all saying, can we amend our name to Glenarden Phase 1? The judge looked at them people like, man, you got to go do it like everybody else, file a motion. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all playing. Then y'all got people from corporate office calling us, trying to buy us out. Hey, I give you X amount of dollars if you know to move and this and that. We ain't gonna put it on your rental history. You can't put it on there anyway. Because the fact is, when you know something, you know it. I ain't scared. And that's why I don't care about when people say or work. I don't say care. I don't worry about when people say anything about me not paying rent. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing other shit with my time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, think about these people. You know what I'm saying?
Because let me ask you, you tell me if I got this right. So you have a rental lease with Glenarden Hills, and because you have yet to be called into court by Glenarden Hills, your case will consistently be dismissed. But Glenarden Phase 1 or whatever name they keep coming up with, they haven't caught on to that yet.
No, they had. And see, listen, now they come into court and say, yeah, now we got a license, Your Honor. So so we like, man, okay, you got the license, but that's not Glenarden Hill. That's Glenarden Phase 1. And the judge looking at us like, but they have a license. It's like, hold on, man. Ain't you supposed to interpret how this shit go? You know what I'm saying? If I point it out to you, it's your job. You heard what I said. I ain't got to give you the whole definition. You the judge. You supposed to break it down and interpret it. If I give you the statute, that's, you know what I'm saying? It's up to you to interpret it. I gave it to you.
You do have to argue your case.
Right. So we need basically, it's like, man, going in there without a lawyer is kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? And I've been kind of searching around. It's like the Merlin Legal Aid people, you know, we got one of them little Merlin Legal Aid services. I don't know which one it was, but they act like they wanted to take the case and they playing around. Like, we're giving them all the documentation. They see the stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm sending them all court documents.
They never respond.
So no, what they're saying is this, basically. They're waiting for a request from DPI to come back to see if these people actually have a license or don't. Look up these people, even anywhere on Maryland Business Search, anywhere, there's not registered. You look them up in DPI, they do not be there. It says abandoned.
Damn.
It says it basically say these entities don't even exist.
So have you reached out to the church, like, since you couldn't for legal representation, like the big church in Glenarden?
Man, we not fooling with them people. Them people allegedly owns the land that this place is on. Allegedly, I've been trying to find that out. So,
Pastor Jenkins.
Yeah, Pastor Jenkins.
Even with them owning,
man.
Where's the help at?
Even with them owning the land, once
where's the
developer you don't have any say on
this
that.
business, man. Think about it. The church
this shit can be stopped. But if I'm him, I'm like, what do you need? What do you want? I know I got the bread to do it. Let me solidify this, and my rep goes up. My congregation grows, and now I'm on the tube. I'm on Fox News because they like, what did you do over there? You done set that shit ablaze in the good way. You could get this shit done now. I'm just saying.
One of the other tenants had reached out to somebody around here and got some information that they shared with me, but it's just basically saying the same thing. They don't have no permit, but the Maryland Legal Aid people act like they scared to take the case, like they really don't want to get involved. But the funny thing about it was, when we was in court and we left out the court, they the same people that approached me and was like, hey man, you need to do this because the judge just did that. He did like 3 things. Like, he done helped these people. He gave them legal advice while he was on the stand. He refused to look at review my evidence that I had. And he was like, had a bias against me, because what ended up happening was I basically had got 2 evictions, one by default and one for a breach of lease. Like I said, how they came at me again. Now they're a whole nother entity. Now they're Penrose Management Company, Penrose Management Company, LLC, agents for Glenarden Phase 1. This shit is crazy versus like me, you know.
Appeal?
So listen, shot me down on an appeal, right? Shot me down on an appeal saying that my point was mute. It was moot. And that I didn't have a valid, you know what I'm saying, reason. It was crazy, man. Like, if you saw these documents, these denials from these courts, you'd be like, this is unbelievable.
Just read it. What did it say?
Huh?
I say, you don't have it? Just read it. What did it say? You
no,
said your argument is moot because you don't have standing because they already done evicted you?
No,
Or
they
did
basically
they say something about how old your lease is? What did they say?
no. So look, let me pull up something real quick. Let me see. It's right here. Um, no, they basically was like they basically was like um. See, this is the whole thing. I think it is by not having no lawyer.
They
That's
ain't bothering.
the thing. They get taking advantage of us.
Y'all need
You know what I'm saying?
representation.
Right. They taking advantage of us. And
So
you know
what
what I'm
is it
saying? Of course.
there's a period of time where so some people are paying rent, some people are not, and they're constantly taking people to court. You said they started taking people to court in 2023.
Correct.
Okay. So from 2023 to 2024, you keep going to court and they keep getting dismissed. Then in 2024, they get a license, but under Glenarden phase 1. Is that right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. So you're in your apartment, you're fighting, they're getting dismissed, you're still in your apartment. And then
So
you get a default judgment entered against you for what? You didn't show up?
for the failure, right? For the one failure to pay the rent. And that was just the failure to pay the rent, the one they always been dismissing. So it was by
Right.
default that they got the judgment on me.
Because
And
you
the
didn't show
second
up.
one, right.
Okay.
I ain't show up
Okay.
on time. I was late, right? I was a little late, but I showed up.
What is it that you desire? Like, what's your desired outcome for all of this? What is it that you want?
So for the first thing is for them to show and prove that they actually have a license and that they registered. And see, the whole thing is Penrose management, they got so much scandal against them. They have cases against them. If you look, and I pull them up right now on this.
Around the county.
Yeah, Annapolis. Oh, they got cases against them in Annapolis, cases against them in DC. Something going on in New York at one time.
So what's your next plans? Do you plan to try to appeal again, or is the fight over for you?
So no. So basically, I'm still in court right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm still pushing right now, but like I say, basically, like I'm trying to find.
In court, what did you file?
So right now, I mean, we basically in bankruptcy court. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where we had to go. This was the step from the was to take it to the federal court so we could get law. But even the federal court is like it's not really trying to give us law.
Because y'all don't have
like
representation.
It's not trying to give you law. I'm not following you. You said you're in bankruptcy court. Is that you want to get a bankruptcy ruling so then you can use that to appeal your eviction?
So the federal court, right, is supposed to stand on business, right? They're supposed to stand on business. If the state ain't standing on it, the federal really supposed to stand on it, right? You know, that's why you see all these dudes going to jail, getting all this goddamn time. You know what I'm saying? Because they send them to the feds, right? You know what I'm saying? So they're supposed to stand on business. Now, like you said, to the point what you said, yes, to get the ruling from the bankruptcy court because they stand, they supposed to stand on business. And then that basically exposes everything. And basically, you get what I'm saying? Once the bankruptcy court,
I'm not following. The
once the
bankruptcy court
bankruptcy says, so the bankruptcy court, it works. So it's not, there's so many different tools, right, in the court system. But so bankruptcy will do several things, but they will have to come in there and actually prove that they had a license during this time, because if not, we seeking monetary damages.
Why would they have to prove they had a license in bankruptcy court? If the bankruptcy for you?
No, even if it was for me, right? Listen, if it was for me, that's even crazier, because guess what? Y'all saying I owe y'all. I'm bankrupt. I ain't got nothing.
Right. That's
so
what I thought you were saying. That's what I was asking.
Hold on. You got to prove that I owe you. Who the hell are you?
Them Jones, I drive past them Jones a lot, and I'll be like, "Damn, these apartments sound."
Them drinks.
But
them drinks, all right. I mean, it's a nice spot,
I'm
man. But they
saying
need
for a 3-bedroom, it's 2,100. That's not bad.
3
So they
bedroom.
got
but no pets though. I'm
listen,
happy
dig it.
about that. I'm happy about that. I can dig
no
that with
listen.
washer and
So
dryer.
it's market value. Then they have the tax incentive program as well. So you know that it ain't gonna probably be the same price for the two. You
Even
know what I
better.
mean?
But on the outside though, that look like is shit. But apparently, what it is ain't what it is. You got
Right.
Okay, so welcome to another episode of the DMV News, and we have a special invited guest who's a resident of Glenarden Hills apartment complex in Glenarden in Prince George's County, PG County. Since 2019, the building is right around the corner from the original First Baptist Church of Glenarden, right off of Bright Seat Road. So he's come here to share with us some of the troubles that the tenants are going through, that they are experiencing with this property management and developer, not excluding, not limited to failure to comply to requests. Maintenance requests in a timely manner, which sometimes causes injury to the residents, failing to secure the property where they have homeless people that's living in different parts of the building unchecked.
Damn.
The building is overrun with pests, roaches to mice to whatever. And the biggest affront of all is that they are entering into leases and illegally entering into leases and illegally evicting tenants without even having a proper license to operate in the state.
How can people reach out to you?
So I got
help out.
I got a Facebook group, and it's called Tenants for Just Us. So it's TENANTS, the number 4 JUSTUS. That's my Facebook group. So we just basically gonna post up, things concerning, these laws and keeping people, what's going on, resources and stuff like that. I'm trying to get that started. So then probably, get a little nonprofit for tenants.
Okay. All right. So that was Ish Talk, and we're gonna be coming back with more DMV news. All right, welcome back to Ish Talk TV. All right, DMV news. Welcome y'all to the show. A couple of things we're gonna be talking about. Are you liking the new changes at Metro? Leslie, I was gonna ask you that. DC Pride Week is coming up, and team sets the Guinness World Record of the most break-ins in a month, breaking in cars. And yep, and and also what's up with all the rain, man? What's up with all the goddamn rain?
Love it. What they do?
May for rain or showers, whatever like that.
Yeah, April showers, May flowers, but we're a little delayed and shit. Am I doing it right?
There you go.
At the
There you
heart.
go.
Yeah.
April
We love that rain.
But yeah, that must be some DC Pride rain right there. And also, we're talking about Maryland governor for president, basically saying no to reparations. And I got Leslie in the house. I got Cool in the house.
Y'all gonna be
more, aka Princess Amunda. I hope you got some kush at the crib, some cat in the bed, and some cash in your pocket where more can be said.
A Maryland teen linked to 120 vehicle break-ins gets released only hours after being arrested during the first weekend in May. The first weekend, this can't be true. 121 vehicles were broken into in the city of Laurel. A teenager who police said was linked to the crimes was arrested. He was back home again 5 hours later. Doesn't that mean he's not the one who did it? The teen will face charges of motor vehicle theft and theft from automobiles. Oh, so he didn't actually steal the cars. He broke into the cars. They noted that he did not have a prior record, although I would offer well over 100 cases in one night. Gives you a pretty good record to go on. That he was not a flight risk and that these were not violent crimes, as if that lessens the impact on those 121 victims, Police Chief Russ Hamill said. Hamill said he doubted anything would be done to make the victims whole again, and he didn't think much would be done to help the teenager either.
Damn.
I've also heard people mentioned over the past couple of weeks that insurance covers the damages, as if that makes it okay. He said, except the car is still out of service for a while, and the victim has to pay a deductible, which in many cases is at least $500 to $1,000. I had one woman stop me and mention to me this was the third time this has happened to her car. And because her deductible was so high, she had to make adjustments in her home, including the purchase of food.
So
you set people back when you do that shit. I'm a victim.
Who is setting back? Is he black?
We don't know. We don't know, sir. Sir.
Is he black?
I don't. We
If
don't
he
know.
not,
It's a teenager.
If he not, it's ice, baby.
I think Toyota needs to hire this kid. I think he needs to become an ambassador for Tesla or something like that.
He need to do something. Like if I was Elon, since he out, I probably hired a Bama because I'm like, I need to give this Bama a future. And if he black, that looks good on me.
Doing for him, smashing, grabbing a bunch.
Hey, I need you to break into my Teslas like you broke into them other cars, so I can fix my shit.
And then he gonna get in 2.5 seconds.
And I'm gonna make it so you can't even get in that zone.
It sounds like you're making it seem like the boy was like picking locks with like the little, or taking a machine and sliding it in some slot.
And he clearly wasn't. He clearly wasn't. I saw the footage.
I think he just took something heavy.
He broke windows. Yeah.
I'm trying to find something positive about this. All right.
Me too. I just don't want this family to go back and do the same shit.
Maybe there's nothing positive about this.
That's the Guinness World Record, y'all. I believe
121.
He might have beaten a kid in New Jersey back in the 80s. So he might have beaten that record. I don't know. But what do you guys think about this low crime thing? Like, and because I know
low crime.
Yeah, because they're basically saying that since it's a low crime, that
it's bullshit.
He shouldn't be. There should be no punishment.
It's a non-violent crime,
right? Yeah. So
he ain't a kid and shit.
And on the other side, on the victim side, most Americans, they cannot afford like a $500 emergency. So when someone breaks into your car, like
you set them back.
You set them back. So do you think this, when it comes to break-ins and all that stuff, should be more punishment? Which I think.
Hey, whatever happened to Boys Village? Does that exist anymore?
They started abusing the kids.
God damn it, they can't do that right.
And they got caught.
I'm not about to let this Bama out.
A group situation. I see.
Yeah, because he was like waving the Bama on, like, yeah, I got one. And that window was broke. He about to go out and he's probably doing the same shit right now as we speak.
As right now, as we speak, he's broken into 5 cars.
And he's going for 6.
Is this something about us normal people that we're such an easy lick? Or is this kid just...
I was trying to see if I could see a picture of him to see why did he get
Or he's just retarded.
Oh shit!
I mean, he's not on house arrest or anything.
Is this a game?
Is this
I'm
points?
not sure what the purpose.
They're gonna stumble across the wrong Bama.
He
out there.
They broke into his house.
They stumbled across him in 120 vehicles. I think he's fine.
The police.
I don't get it.
The police raided his house. They found multiple credit cards and they found like 20 car keys.
Okay, that's where I see the the
hold up, what?
From automobiles.
Time out.
That's what I'm saying.
How many car keys?
20 sets. From
cars that he broken into?
Are these people, are we just easy licks? Are we just gonna leave our keys in the car? Is this Mayonnaiseville, America? We just leave our door open?
Some vital information I feel is missing from this story.
What's up?
Hey,
I don't
keys
know what.
in the car.
Huh? Something's missing from the story?
I I don't know. Something's not adding up to me. They say one teen got arrested, but I see 3 people in the picture on the 7 News.
Did they recently catch the other 2?
No, I'm just looking on the website. It's a video, or it's a picture.
Maybe he snitched.
More than 100 vehicles were. I don't know where this picture came from. If it's somebody's ring bill camera.
He snitched.
Yeah, that's when he was waving them on.
Walking. It has another person bent into a car, and then it has another car behind the parked car with the brake lights on to suggest somebody's in the driver's seat. So that's 3 people. So how did only one person get arrested? And how would you suspect that the 16-year-old did all of this by himself? And then why you didn't press the 16-year-old to roll on the other 2 people? And then how is he not on house arrest or nothing? Do they not have any evidence? They don't actually have him. They might have silhouette like, here, you can't tell who this is.
Well, but they still can.
You can't tell who that is. So they must not have any evidence on him, because you can't get arrested for something and they're gonna keep you.
Well, did they charge him?
They're gonna keep you.
Did they say they charged him in the article?
All it says was that he was linked to crimes and was arrested. He was back home again 5 hours later. He will face charges of motor vehicle theft and theft from automobiles. Is
so
that the same?
He got a court date.
Like, are they being technical with the language? Like, they expect to charge him?
But he should be getting a court date soon.
Yet? Yeah, but you don't get a court if you don't get a court date until you go to court. He didn't go to court. He got arrested, and then he left 5 hours later. So you didn't go to the commissioner. You didn't go in front of the judge for a hearing to see if there's enough evidence for them to charge you. You didn't get your charges read. So that's what I'm saying. Something is missing.
No. I'm pretty sure they arrested him and they sent him to the magistrate, and they gave him a date. I mean, they released him. Right?
How are you so sure?
That's because.
And who is he being released to? Because, like, your parents, his mother and his father, are they? I don't know.
He probably going to his grandmother's house or his aunt.
He probably going to his grandma's house.
Yeah, she ain't watching him.
Even the police chief doesn't think anything's gonna happen. So they don't. I feel it sounds like they don't have any hard evidence against him. Like, they have enough to, like, they might have circumstantial evidence. Maybe they found stuff in his house, but they don't have any video or testimony of him actually committing the crimes. You see what I'm saying? Because
I don't know. I think because of our county law,
when people have hard evidence against you, you're gonna get charged bail, or you're gonna get held without bail or put in a detention.
Don't forget he a youngin. Don't forget he a youngin. You know how they are with youngins out here.
I don't know the difference.
They real lenient with youngins out here. They catch and release. They call PG County the catch and release county. They catch them and they release them no matter what they do.
I thought it was guilty county.
Probably that too. It's turning, man. I don't know if it's
teenager it was.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a me getting old thing, but it just don't seem like the same type kid anymore. Like, we weren't getting curfews at 5 o'clock because we were storming places. We stormed places to be entertained. Like, we went to the movies at Beltway Plaza. We went to Six Flags and actually got on the rides. We wasn't fighting.
Definitely got on the rides. Definitely got passes, or at least try to get a couple of your people to use the same pass and pass it along. But I mean, other than that.
And I'm sure Bammers would have found a way to get to the National Harbor if we had it, but we wouldn't trash it. We would enjoy it.
Teenagers were definitely breaking into cars and stealing.
We were smack, yeah. You get your car stolen and shit. Yeah.
So,
hell yeah.
I mean,
so I guess is it just because it's on camera?
I mean, that camera don't prove anything.
No, I'm saying it's happening
But
now.
yeah.
We're like
Oh,
when we
yeah.
were doing it, there was no cameras. But
Right.
I'm
Yeah, so
saying since we're seeing it on social media, we're thinking that it happens more often or it's getting
everything is so
crazier.
outrageous.
But I saw a video of some kids on the metro. They just slapped a woman in the back of the head that was just sitting down, and then they ran
See
out.
what I'm saying? See what I'm
So,
saying?
what will make
But
someone
I
want to do that
remember
to
that was a
somebody?
game that people played when we were
Yeah.
teenagers
And
too.
I don't know
so,
if we did that.
It was a punch. It was a punch though,
See, yeah.
and
Oh,
they was
y'all
only
played
doing
that
it for
knockout
names.
game shit.
and then
And I
I
remember,
started.
with so many murders that happened over this Memorial weekend,
Gee.
people are to be remembered
God
because
damn.
but
I
crazy.
don't have that story.
Let's get to um
Danielle Hill.
speaking of kids that need a foot up their ass. Let's get to the Virginia mother that took things too far.
Sure. Danielle Alexis Hill, 34 years old, of Woodbridge, Virginia, is accused of strangling and physically disciplining her son, a boy under the age of 10, during a domestic incident, according to the Prince William County Police Department. Police say the assault happened on Thursday, May 22nd. The following day, the child reported the incident to school staff, who then contacted police. A school nurse evaluated the victim and found non-life-threatening injuries, officials said. Officers launched an investigation and arrested Hill the following day on May 23rd. She was charged with strangulation and domestic assault and battery, police said. Hill was released on a $2,000 unsecured bond, and her court date is pending.
$2,000. Can you imagine going to school and you got marks
Yeah.
on your neck?
Yeah, I can see that now.
And you can't hide that.
Nah, they like, what's wrong with you, Billy?
Yeah.
My mom tried to
Has
kill me.
anybody ever raised a 10-year-old? No, I'm just playing. 10-year-old boys are devils. We caught his mama on the wrong day.
That's what it was. Yeah, she Claire Huxtable the Bama.
Hold on, fam.
Yeah, and she just took it to another level with that shit. She got crazy with it. That's all I see. I
Fam,
hope she don't lose her kid.
This is a week after Mother's Day. She couldn't wait.
Nah, homie couldn't get off the Fortnite.
He couldn't get off the fort.
So she choked him with the HDMI cord, with the PlayStation jump.
Oh, we ain't supposed to laugh about that. We ain't supposed to laugh about that. We ain't supposed to laugh about that, Skip.
I'm pro belt. I'm anti strangulation. Like, come on, mom.
Yeah, she took it to another level. She took it. If she just whooped him real bad, maybe gave him a few marks, okay. But you tried to kill this kid. Did you have to?
I'm sure she didn't try to kill him, but she
Strangle
probably
him?
tried to scare him into submission. See, we don't know.
I wouldn't
See,
even
that
do
little
that.
boy.
How do you strangle? How do you strangle out of submission when you're choking somebody
and whoop him? Like, what kind of move is that?
Strangle him into submission.
The rodeo.
Who knows what that mouth was like? Because them little 10-year-olds are starting puberty. Them hormones are starting to, their level of development there in that testing phase. Fuck you, mom. I don't care. I don't have to do anything. Single mom, and she's doing it by herself. Then she working. She come home, long day at work, and he might have just tap danced on the wrong nerve on the wrong day.
Yeah,
and then and then he was like, I'll get you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell my teacher. And
so you're justifying it?
No, I'm not justifying it. Don't strangle your kids.
Just don't strangle them. Just don't strangle them.
But you can't hit them upside the head, and you can't hit them with a belt anywhere except for the face.
Use the HDMI cord if you want to, but just don't strangle them. Right? Yeah, I'm pro belt, cord, britches, branch, tree thing.
Wooden spoon.
Extension cord.
The old slave spoon. Okay.
The metal hand.
No, not a slave spoon.
No, I'm saying I grew up and it was usually when you walk in the house, it was a big old slave.
Yeah, it was three of them.
spoon.
It was Big Joe, Little Joe, and the Medium Joe.
I'm talking about the kitchen
And a
decorations,
fork.
the
And a
fork,
fork. Yeah, it was a fork.
It
She
has
took that
nothing
joke.
to do with slavery. Stop it.
Yeah,
It
hell
has to
yeah.
do with
So,
eating.
all right, what age is it appropriate to use a belt?
3.
Jesus Christ.
No, I just plucked. No, my son, I just plucked him at 3. And then
Fuck that.
That's worse. That's worse.
The head. Then
Introduce him to that leather.
All right, so what about the belt?
Leather.
His father, I think, used the belt. I didn't really use the belt.
What age?
Take off the clothes and all of that.
What age did the father?
I don't think that would have been until like maybe 6 or 7. When they're younger than that, your hand is enough. You don't need any tools.
Hit him right in the chest.
You know what?
So just you chopping the kids in the throat.
Right in the chest.
But now that he's 16, this is what I use.
You slap him real hard in the chest.
I'm not messing up my hands trying to hit him. So at 16, this is what he's gonna get.
So teenagers get
Bruce
pipes.
Lee in the Bama.
I keep it right underneath there. He be laughing about it. I'd be like, don't make me go to town. I give him a test pop on the leg.
Donatello.
Yep, his father told me to do it. Listen, he said,
Donatello.
I don't use my hands tomorrow. He said, you better get you a frying pan or something and go up. And he said, so we got to stop going upside his head so we wouldn't give him a brain injury while he was developing. Yeah, my son is 16. And he be up here. I was like, listen, you're not going to terrorize me in my house. So you're going to do what I tell you to do. And you keep talking that slick stuff and watch what happens.
Look, she hit something.
Watch what happens live.
Yeah. So this is one of the problems now that I'm seeing is that mothers can't control their sons, and it's all racist. But now I understand that. But now it seems like they're getting younger and younger, like the distance between like you hating your mother. Like, I mean, I'm not hating your mother, but the falling out. Like now it's 10. Whose problem is that? Who's to blame for that?
Boys, and then boys always give their mom a harder time at every age. It don't matter. And then they end up, when they get older, gushing over us later. But if you ask, that's just the way it is. Boys don't have the same. Boys make their mother struggle. They make everything hard and difficult for their mother. But their father,
projecting.
I'm not projecting. I'm telling you, this is what it is. Their father can discipline them over the phone. They hear the voice and they just get it together. The mother could be standing right there with a bat and they still considering complying.
Because sometimes whoopings don't work with y'all, man. When we get older, we like, come on, man. I don't need no whooping,
and
man.
that's why you have to upgrade. That's why you have to upgrade from the belt to a metal pole.
See, that's why little Johnny got choked and whipped.
Yeah, that's why he got choked.
They got new rules and laws now.
He acting like he living with Babe Ruth.
I'm not gonna strangle my child. You don't strangle.
Get off that Fortnite. Man, shut the fuck up. What the fuck did you say?
Here's the thing though. You're not supposed to hit your kid to injure them. The whole point is to kind of snap them out of whatever days where they think that it's okay with the whatever behavior that they got going. It's just supposed to snap them out. So, like, I don't know how this just doesn't even seem right to do to a child. Like, to do to anybody, actually. You shouldn't do that to nobody.
She blacked out.
In a real brawl with somebody in the streets. And you trying to get them off of you, or I don't know.
Man,
but
baby daddy must be broke too.
You shouldn't do that. You should not strangle your children.
He ain't paying his child support either. She like, hey man, I ain't even got time.
I ain't paying for that. I ain't paying for that.
Right.
You choking my kids out. I ain't paying your ass.
I'm definitely ain't paying you now.
It needs to be
definitely
open.
Ain't paying you now.
If you're gonna hit him in the face, it needs to be open.
Yeah, pat that Joe in his face, move him,
but you
put a
can't
mark on his face.
Fist and punch your kid.
It's like you hate him. You hate him if you do that.
Okay. Oh, wait. Calling the police on your kid.
Hell no.
That's why I have a stick.
Only if the Bama be out there stealing 121 vehicles. Hey, look,
And the
hey, I
and the
can't help y'all. You go ahead and take this Bama in. I ain't even gonna bail him out. Take him in.
Nobody is going to terrorize me in my house. I got a metal pole and I got a pistol. Try me. I don't need the police. Not for nothing that's going on
in my
here.
mind is it should. Why is it to that point where you can't control?
No,
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you.
I'm talking about like any person that comes to my
I know,
house.
but a lot of parents feel like I'm not gonna be disrespected. It's my house. But how did we get to a point where the child is disrespecting the parent? That's what I'm saying.
They want to be
Children
friends. They've been friends.
They want to be friends.
Yeah.
No, children are going to be disrespectful because that is we call it disrespect, right? That is like the prism with which we receive their behavior. But what's actually coming out of them most of the time, and especially in the beginning, is their own self-discovery, testing boundaries, wanting to be heard, realizing that they have opinions about stuff that's not the same as yours, and pushing back. We receive it as disrespect because it's like, listen here, I didn't ask you what your opinion is. I don't care what you think. I don't want you to talk back. And so therein is where that whole, thing goes. And that's why I think it's important to have an actual relationship with your children. So when they are acting out, like when my son acts out, I can be confident in saying, "No, that's on you." Because you're not I'm not bringing you up in an environment where you are suppressed, where your feelings aren't considered, where I don't like be there for you, where I don't cater to you sometimes, or go out of my way, or support you, or you know what I'm saying. I'm not that, but I am one of those parents where I don't want to hear you say anything if I'm not asking you a question. Stop always something to say back. I'm saying do this. I didn't. No. Just say okay. I don't need.
I said when I'm finished.
Hey, yeah, she got me reminiscing on the times I was a little bit off.
See, cool. All the things you did to all the things you did to Mama, cool.
Clearly,
all the things you did.
Yeah, I was a Billy badass, but I was still good. I was a good kid, but I feel her on that. Like there'd be times I'd be like, "Me test these limits," and she was like, "I wish you fucking would," and I was like, "Shit."
All I'm saying is, I hope these kids start wearing jeans when they get their ass whoopings, because
that's
jeans,
the secret.
Yeah. So hopefully that kid's all right, and it shouldn't be we shouldn't have to go through that. No kids.
But do we really? Is it possible that she really did? Is it possible?
What?
Is it possible that the boy lied a little bit?
Yeah, look at his neck. The white woman, the white teacher.
Do you see a picture of his neck?
The white teacher looked at that.
Yep. See,
said,
Karen was like,
I haven't looked at little Jamil in years, but now that I see something's wrong with him, I'm gonna call CPS. And luckily, certain people call CPS when certain times you should call CPS. We ain't gonna get to that. We're not gonna get to that.
Unlike Caroline Gingery. Allegedly.
Pow.
So hopefully we got an update for y'all coming soon, because things is about to go down, and we already spoke about. I think I can't even say that yet. All right, so let's get to Maryland.
Governor Moore and these reparations. See, I was holding
cut the check.
Governor Moore. I was not really feeling him.
From the jump,
I was not feeling him because I wasn't feeling a lot of Democratic candidates, and I heard him speak, and it just kind of sounded like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not really moved by people just off. Okay, you're black, so you're great. No. Now, I am okay with just voting for somebody because they're black. I'm okay with that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm impressed with them or that I actually like them. But I don't live in Maryland anyway. So I was not impressed in the beginning. But now that I have come across this article, he might be all right with me. Maryland Governor Wes Moore doubled down Tuesday on the need for action rather than research in defending his recent veto of a bill to study reparations. I do not believe now is the time for another multi-year study on something that we already know. Instead, Moore said, I think this is the time for action. He cited large investments made in the state's historically Black colleges and universities, saying, I'm really proud of the work that I've done with the legislature. We've done expungement reform. We've done procurement reform. I've signed the largest mass pardon in the history of the United States of America. This is an administration that believes in action. Asked specifically if he would support using tax dollars to provide cash reparations, Moore said, I'm really proud of the action this administration has already taken when it comes to addressing the long-standing challenges of racial discrimination that we've seen, not just in the state of Maryland, but across the nation. The bill doesn't sound like he answered the question. The bill that Moore vetoed would have created a commission to study historic policies that led to economic disparities based on race, including housing, segregation and discrimination, redlining, and restrictive covenants. The bill would then have recommended appropriate reparations that could include statements of apology, monetary or other forms of compensation. Be more.
Oh, cool.
They all talk alike, man. They all talk alike, these Democrats. They and I peeped them. I peeped them when he won. I was like, oh, he one of them folks. And I predicted it. And I'm gonna stand on this prediction. This Bama gonna run for president. It's already set up. You see how the Democrats are looking. I call them Democrats. You see how they looking around, they scrambling around trying to look for that leader. There's your leader. I can't stand this Bama, but I gotta hand it to him. Just like the old B.O. Bama, Barack. He sounds just like him. He's a younger him. He got a bald head. I can relate. Go get yours, bruh. Just don't fuck over Maryland. Do better than Hogan at least, bruh. And I'm for the veto on the bill. Like, let's stop studying, because that's all y'all gonna do for decades is study, study, study.
Be more.
Well, I kind of figured that this question, the reparation question, was going to piss a lot of his supporters off, but I've known him from the like news, maybe from like 2018, 2017. He was on Bill Maher one time, and he was a CEO of a very big company back in the day, and he was a military dude. So I was kind of happy that he actually won. So the reparations thing, and like Cool said, you can see that he said he's not going to run, but he's doing something. He's all in the videos. He's all on the records.
All in the shows.
Yeah. So I can understand him right now, since reparations is a hot button topic. So him stepping aside. But shout out to Maryland ADOS, Maryland Descendants of Slaves. There was the people out there pushing the bill. But it's a long way to go. And especially when you talk about monetary, like he cut the check, a lot of white people wasn't going to go for it. And plus, there's a lot of things with the Maryland going on with the money and the taxes and a lot of shit.
We down.
Yeah. So especially he's a Caribbean. He's Caribbean. He's not really Black American. So that's
perfect candidate.
He's a perfect candidate because
was he born here?
He's Caribbean. He's not.
No, I'm just saying, because you can't run for president if you wasn't born here.
No, I think he was born here, but we can look it up. But yeah, that's how I knew it was gonna come, the answer. So
well, there have been several studies about the racial disparities and the institutionalized racism throughout this country. So yeah, we don't need another study. As a matter of fact, there's like a whole like society or branch of government, or like there's a role. Like, so the film Unmarked that I narrated, one of the the Emmy nominated film Unmarked.
Yeah.
One of the co-producers is Chris Haley, Alex Haley's nephew.
So,
And his role, he is the, hold on, let me get the actual title. Because he is the, and it has in his title something about this, like this same topic. Like it's already being done, like even as we speak. So we don't really need to keep I think that when they say we're going to form a council, we're going to form study or research, that's just something that is to appease people who want reparations. This country will never give Black people reparations. And I really, really just want everybody to accept that it's not going to happen. They consistently and systematically give something to any other group but Black. You know, anything but Black, A, B, B. Any other group, Japanese, Chinese, the Asian Pacific Islander in general, they got all specific legislation just for them. The transgender,
the Native Americans.
the Native Americans deserve whatever. Well, they're not any better than Black people. So yeah,
Hey, you
the
know what I'm
Native
saying?
Americans,
Can we get the check
those are
too?
brothers and sisters anyway. They just got here first.
Yeah, we
On
was
their
chopping
own
it
accord.
up and shit.
They
We
got here on
smoking
their
a
own
little
accord.
bit. Oh,
Pre-continental trip, but that's a whole nother
I'm
story.
gonna get fucked up.
Pass me that, Chief.
I am. Oh,
Latinos,
here.
the Polacks,
Oh, it's
the
this way.
Irish, the Italians,
Okay,
the
all right.
French.
So America will continue to suffer until it answers the original sin.
Hey.
Listen, America is not suffering. Black people worldwide are suffering. And somebody said, Dr. Umar said it best. When Mother Africa gets her respect and her strength back, that's when Black people worldwide will have a better quality of life. Because he said no other group in the world is disrespected like Black people, because their countries will ride for them. Chinese people can go and set up whole communities in other countries.
Nah,
If you fuck with their people, they got China. China is respected and feared.
nah.
Russian government is respected and feared. Jewish government people or Israel is respected and feared. Every other nationality
It's not going to
is
start in
respected
Africa.
and feared.
It's not going to
So
start.
what?
It's not going to start in Africa. It's going to start.
Everything
It's
It's going to
starts,
start. It's going to start.
starts in Africa.
It's going to start in America because American
gotta
blacks
start
got
here.
it. American
No.
blacks are the leaders.
We're the
American
key.
blacks are not taking anything over. They don't. There's no American.
It's so many tribal issues in Africa. They're like decades.
Stop saying that. Stop saying there's so many tribal issues in Africa.
It is.
The problem with Africa is colonialism. Don't worry about the tribal issues. The problem with Africa is Europe and outsiders that's constantly, including America, that's constantly inserting their nose in their business to keep them down. And the pact that they entered into the Berlin Conference for the continualization of imperialism or colonialism. So don't put it on the tribes. No, when Africa gets their stuff together, all of the different countries, however, it starts with one. It might be with President Traore, Mali, Niger, with the AES, with maybe they're being reformed with the ECOWAS. That's the economic.
But either way, they're still going to be working with Europe, because even that dude is working with Russia right now, and especially in certain places they got China.
So Russia's in Asia.
I'm saying the dude from Burkina Faso, whatever his name is, he just went to Russia, and right when he came back from Russia,
he did business with Russia, right?
Yeah, right.
Right.
He
did business. He purchased stuff that everybody else in the world was trying to block them from. See, America have us hating Russia. Why do you hate Russia?
I ain't no problem with Russia.
The American position and standing is to hate Russia, to hate China, to hate this, and then to love this one, to love this one, and to love that one.
That's the Democrats.
And the point, Mostly so.
No, I think that's the CIA.
But not solely.
Good point.
But what the point is, and what Africans and what President Traore is saying is, no, see, it's about freedom. It's about independent and economic development and doing for our own people. There's people that constantly, the imperial West, colonizers, and Europeans that are constantly trying to go into Africa, go into other people's countries, period, all over the world, and tell them how they're supposed to run their country, put control or block resources and block business, economic trade, so that they become the beggars. So when he goes to Russia, not for a handout, but to do business and buy tractors,
a little
so
bit
that
of
they
protection too.
To get their agricultural production together, to get military training, to get weapons, whatever the case may be. That's what you're supposed to do. That is what presidents do. You make agreements and you do business with people who have something to offer. You don't go and block other people. Oh no, we don't want them to live. We don't want them to be all right. So don't nobody sell nothing to them. That's what a hater does. That is a straight up hater.
So back to Africa. Back to Africa being the leaders. So how come
when Africa gets it together, Black people worldwide, you will see a difference worldwide. The diaspora will change. Black people will start seeing themselves in a different light, because when the shackles of mental slavery and economic slavery and misinformation is removed, everything changes. But until that day, people are going to still just think the worst about what they don't know and be afraid to go. Europeans have been traveling to Africa since the beginning of time for a holiday. That's how they discovered that there were so many resources there. But they tell you don't go because, the children are starving and the water is dirty. People go on holiday there for centuries.
Getting lost down that jump.
So hopefully my Caribbean governor recognizes what American Black people have been through and might want to cut that check before he bounces. And if he does run for president and if he go on reparations, anyway, great
reparations
show.
would not let him get elected. But to stay on point and to add on to what you said, I think that Governor Moore has a point, and he's highlighting the actual actions that he takes to target the consequences of the institutionalized racism that has happened, like for redlining, where they are purposely driving up mortgage costs, or what else is it tied to housing?
Hey, Glenarden Hill Apartments is $2,400. He ain't doing a goddamn thing with that rent.
I think he said it was $2,100.
21.
Nah, he said, I thought it was 24 for three bedrooms. Hey, not that I need that much.
He said they got procurement, they got expungement reform, meaning that so allegedly that means that it's easier for you to get smaller things and older things removed from your what do you call it?
Credit
record. From your record, so that you can have opportunities, whether that's get more loans, jobs, citizenship. All things are tied to whatever your criminal history is. Procurement reform, that means that for small businesses or medium businesses that are, I guess, Black, that they have an opportunity to go
LGBTQ
after contracts too. And he's the largest mass pardon in the history of the USA. I don't know who he pardoned, but I guess he's talking about Maryland citizens, and hopefully all the people that went to jail over weed, all them people should get out of jail.
Yeah.
So
record expunged.
Yeah, so I think it is more important to focus on the action and the work. Because you're not going to get any money. So there's no point in you doing a study for something that we already know.
Ma'am, not all Black people went to jail.
Shout out to Ados though.
A lot of Black people don't smoke weed.
Killer.
But since we're talking about racism,
that's not going to address the racial wealth gap.
Well, it does.
I need
well,
acres.
You need acres.
I need catfish in my
and
pond.
a mule, a
And
stinky
mule.
one too.
I
What the noise mules
Picking up
make?
what you putting down.
Huh? All right. Tell the people they can reach y'all.
Mr. Cool on IG, man. Y'all better stop playing with me. Or just come over to Explicit Intelligence and stop playing with me over there. I mean the opposite. So when I say don't stop playing with me, that means
I'm waiting for a
go
pause.
ahead and nah. You
Come
just come
over
over to
here.
my channel and chill, man, and shit.
Play with me.
Yeah. Play with me, man. Don't play with me.
Leslie Olabisi on the Long Island. Nah, it ain't the long.
Yeah.
The one and two Long Island. Go ahead.
Juicy juice. Juicy juice.
So Leslie Olabisi, Leslie O Voice, LOB Studios. If you plug any of those into the Google, I will.
The money in a way, that's his talk.